Communist China is an ideological, military, economic, commercial, high-tech, intelligence, and diplomatic rival of the U.S. and the West. And while these threats are known, the Chinese Communist Party's involvement with transnational crime and money laundering is not. While I applaud the findings and recommendations in the Select Committee's recent report on the CCP's role on the fentanyl crisis, we cannot look at the fentanyl issue in a vacuum or as an isolated concern. The CCP Inc.'s business model that fuels the fentanyl crisis is also active in many other sectors of crime. I examined the 12 most significant categories of transnational crime, and I found that criminal activity has seemingly become part of the CCP's overall strategy to grow its power. By measuring the illicit proceeds of crime generated, China leads the world in all of those criminal categories. CCP Inc.'s involvement in transnational crime, if you total all this up, is at least $2 trillion, and I think that's an underestimate, or approximately half of the estimated $4 trillion that is laundered annually around the world every year. In my book, I also discuss a number of Chinese-centric money laundering methodologies and enablers used by CCP Inc., including underground banking, capital flight, gaming, real estate, the use of offshores and secrecy jurisdictions. Chinese actors also use black market exchanges, Fai Chen or flying money, the Chinese equivalent of hawala, Mr. Newhouse mentioned, and trade-based money laundering and value transfer. Corruption, what I call the great facilitator for money laundering, is also rampant. Chinese Inc. has taken their domestic corruption and has exported it overseas. CCP Inc. also excels in what we call elite capture and influence operations. Other enablers include Chinese organized crime, espionage, social monitoring, the promotion of Chinese control of international free trade zones, the Belt and Road Initiative and exploitative presence in the developing world, the lack of Chinese cooperation in international law enforcement, and poor Chinese anti-money laundering compliance. It's important to remember that the CCP, or the PRC, is a command state. For example, the CCP could easily block websites that advertise fentanyl and other dangerous drugs and precursors. They choose not to. I wish to emphasize that the SUAs, the money laundering methodologies and enablers cannot be viewed in isolation. We must look at the totality of the CCP's criminal malfeasance.